What's up everybody? In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to optimize your Upwork profile. I'm going to cover everything starting with your titles at the top of your profile to the other experiences section at the bottom of your profile and every last detail in between. And if you don't already know who I am, my name is Nico Hessel, and quite frankly, I am obsessed with Upwork. Upwork allowed me to go from homeless and sleeping in my car to making $15,000 per month and traveling the world. And since getting on the platform, I've generated over $100,000 for both my own agency and my clients. So with that being said, let's jump right into my laptop and I can show you how to start optimizing your profile. All right, so the first way to optimize your Upwork profile is going to be to optimize your title. Now, the title on Upwork serves two main purposes. Number one, obviously we need to tell people what it is we do and the services that we offer on Upwork. But number two, we want to pack our title full of very commonly searched up phrases on Upwork so that we can rank higher versus other freelancers and other agencies on Upwork. And so to do that, my personal favorite way is to put yourself into your client's shoes. And so think, if I was a client on Upwork and I was hiring a freelancer who offered my services, what are the phrases that I would be searching on Upwork to find those freelancers, right? Number one, you would probably be searching the actual service, right? And so for example, this is one of my specialized profiles. You can see I have the phrase social media advertiser. Now this is intentionally broad because when it comes to paid advertising, a lot of people don't actually know what they want. They just know they need to run paid ads on social media. And so this phrase is still very commonly searched up on Upwork, right? And so you can go broad, or the client would also probably be searching up a more specific phrase, right? Like if they know they need Google ads, they're probably going to look up Google ads on Upwork, right? And if they need meta ads, they're probably going to look up meta ads on Upwork, right? And so that's the first way, is just to put yourself in your client's shoes and then think about the different services you offer and put them into your title. And the second way, and this is going to be dependent on what industry and what services you provide. But if the services you offer have very specific tools that you need to use for certain jobs. So for example, if you are let's say a software developer, then obviously for certain jobs, you're going to need to be very proficient in coding in a certain language, right? And so if that is the case, then you can infer that the language is going to be very commonly searched up on Upwork as well. Right? Because again, put yourself into your client's shoes. If a client is hiring a software developer on Upwork and they know that they need that person to be able to write code in CSS, then they're probably going to want to search up CSS on Upwork, right? That's going to be a commonly searched up phrase. And so that is the other way to do it, is going by tools, or like in this case, languages that you code in. Another example is like if you're a video editor on Upwork, then obviously the specific software you use to edit videos is going to be important to certain clients, right? And so if you are only capable of editing videos on like one or two platforms or softwares, I would put that in here, right? And then again, to validate all of this, you can go to Upwork, search up jobs, and you can just see like, are there lots of jobs meant if you're a video editor and you work on CapCut, you can just see like, are there lots of Upwork jobs that mention video editing on CapCut? And if there's not, then you know that that would not be a very good phrase to put into your title. All right. So that is ultimately going to be how you are going to optimize your title. It's going to be to put yourself in your client's shoes and then validate it by going on Upwork and looking at the jobs section. The other way to validate it is if you're not sure, then you can go to talent and search up other freelancers in your industry who are Upwork top rated and who have earned, let's say, at least $50,000, and just see what their titles are, right? That can also help you validate it, although a lot of people don't do this correctly. So, take that with a grain of salt, right? The second piece to optimizing your Upwork profile is going to be to optimize your written introduction of your main profile. Now, first off, before we dive in too deep into the details here, I'm going to cover the structure that you should write this with. And then after that, I'll go over what to actually include. And so first off, for the structure, they should be at least 1,500 characters or more, right? We want to provide a lot of information. I like to use small paragraphs because they're really easy to read and they're very non-intimidating, right? What we don't want is for someone to click on our profile and then see this giant blob of text and get intimidated and then click off of it, right? We don't want that. We want to make it easy to read and non-intimidating. So small paragraphs. We really like to use lists a lot because, again, they're not intimidating, they're easy to read, and we can provide a lot of information in there, right? So for lists, if you offer working on certain platforms, working with certain tools. In the software development example, if you code in certain languages or work with certain platforms, like you can create a list out of that, and you should. So we like to use a few different lists, 1,500 characters or more, and then short paragraphs, and just make it easy to read, right? So that's the actual structure of it. Now, in terms of what to include, you should have at least a paragraph about who you are as a person, introducing yourself, your name, the services you offer. You can talk about where you're from and how you got started on those services, just a little bit of background information on you as a person, right? Because ultimately we want to stand out on Upwork. And part of the way we can stand out is by being different than all of these other freelancers. And you are different than all the other freelancers. We just have to tell people that, right? And so include some unique personal details about yourself. Ideally, they're still semi-relevant to what you're offering. A really great way to do this is to talk about how you first got started offering your service, right? Maybe you started video editing for your family business. And then once you help them grow, your parents grow your family business, then maybe you started offering that service to different people in your neighborhood or whatever it is, right? All of you have a unique story. And so definitely incorporate that into your Upwork profile because it will help you stand out and it will help you get more jobs on Upwork. That's the first piece. The second piece is going to be to include social proof on your Upwork profile and specifically in your Upwork written introduction. So there are a lot of ways you can do this. You can talk about reviews, you can talk about testimonials, you can talk about case studies, client interviews, video testimonials. You can mention how many industries you've worked in, like I do up here. You can talk about how many years of experience you have, how many clients you work with, and so much more. And the last piece to optimizing your main introduction is going to be your call to action. So you can see mine down here says, thanks for taking the time to read this. One last thing, there's a reason I have a 100% job success score on Upwork. It's because I get it right the first time, or I'll work for free until you're happy. Looking forward to connecting with you. So that's fine, right? That's essentially my guarantee to my clients. And it's also prompting them to work with me and to message me. You could also do something a lot simpler that just asks them to message you. You could say, for example, thanks for taking the time to read this. If you've liked what you've seen so far, feel free to send me a message by pressing the button in the top right-hand corner. Right? Something simple, asking them to message you, but you do want to have a call to action of some sort. And that's how you're going to end your main profile. Now on to your specialized profiles. So you're going to need to create 2 of these to have a fully optimized Upwork profile. Basically, your specialized profiles are meant to go really in depth on a specific service you offer. And so for my agency, our specialized profiles were paid advertising and social media management. Right? Those are kind of the 2 sections of our company, the 2 core services we offer. And so those are our specialized profiles on Upwork. And so you can see a lot of this information is the same, right? This paragraph is the same. This list is the same, right? And so naturally, because it's the same person, right? You're one freelancer or you're one company who has all these profiles, there will be some overlap, right? You should still mention the paragraph about yourself, introduce yourself, right? Because when you're applying to jobs on Upwork, you can apply with a specific profile. So naturally, we do want to have some of the same elements, right? Again, like I said, the paragraph of you introducing yourself will likely be the same, talking about some social proof, your years of experience, clients you work for, right? Some stuff like that. But then obviously the service specific things will all be different. And so in this social media management specialized profile, you can see we have different lists. This is one that actually is used in our main profile as well. But we have a list about like the platforms we manage pages on, and we have a different list about the tools that we're comfortable using. So you can see Canva, Adobe InDesign, Adobe Element, right? CapCut, all those different things. So there should be different elements to this profile and to each specialized profile, because obviously they're meant to go really in depth on that one specific service you offer, right? So you can have up to 2 specialized profiles. I would highly recommend that you offer and you create both of them. And again, they will be helpful because you can use them to apply to jobs. For example, if I already do have a social media management specialized profile, if I come across a social media management job on Upwork, I can apply using this profile. And so when someone clicks on my proposal and they scroll down to see my profile, this is what they're going to see first. Then obviously they can click on the other profiles, but this is what's going to be shown to them first. And so if it's super relevant to them, then that's even better, right? And so that is how you're going to optimize your specialized profiles. It's actually pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple. you're just going to use a lot of the same info as the main profile. And then the service specific information should be different. And you should go really in depth on one specific service in each specialized profile. All right. So that's going to be how you're going to optimize your written introductions. Now, I'll show you how to optimize your video introduction. And so there are two main ways to do this. Number one, you can just pop up a camera and film a video speaking directly to the camera and introduce yourself. So talk about who you are, what your name is, where you're from, talk about the services you offer, and then just speak to the camera for like 1 to 2 minutes. And the purpose here is really simple. It's just to build trust, right? You're going to see this as a consistent theme throughout this whole video. The goal of our Upwork profile is to build trust with our prospects. Okay, so we want to do this, and the video introduction is an excellent opportunity to do this even more. And so again, the first strategy, just pop up a camera, film a video speaking directly to it, cover the things that I just mentioned. The other option is to pop up a camera, speak directly to the camera for like 15 to 60 seconds, quickly introduce yourself, who you are, what your name is, where you're from, your services you offer, and then go into some highly edited video like this one. I'll quickly show you here, and go over case studies, play client testimonials, play reviews, go over examples of your work, right? You can see here, this is like a 30-second introduction, and then we phase into this video testimonial, and then I play another video testimonial, and then I offer some case studies, and I go over examples of our work, right? So the videos that we made for one of these clients. Again, cover photos, we go over some case studies, share some statistical improvements, right? And so all of these things you can incorporate into your video introduction. Again, this is the second option. Both options work perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with option number one. Again, the goal of this video is just to build trust with people. And so whether you choose option one or option two, do the basics right? Have your face well lit, make sure people can see your face, brush your hair, appear professional, speak clearly, have good energy, smile, and it's going to be a huge advantage having a video introduction on your profile. Whether you choose to go with option one or option two, either one works very, very, very well. The one thing I will say, the one exception to this is if you are offering video editing services on Upwork, I would highly recommend that you go with option number two, because this gives you essentially a chance to show off your video editing skills while you're introducing yourself. So you can, knock two birds out with one stone. All right, next, I'm going to cover these skill tags, because that is another option and part of optimizing your profile. And so your skill tags with your main profile, you can have up to 15. And with both specialized profiles, you can have unlimited skill tags. And so with your specialized profiles, it's pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to go search for jobs on Upwork, find ones that you would want to fulfill, and just see what the skill tags are with those jobs. After you find 10 or 20 or 30, you're going to have a pretty obvious bunch of skill tags that are consistent throughout all the jobs that you want to be, applying to and winning, right? And after you have that bunch of skill tags, it's probably going to be a lot more than 15. And so what you're going to do then is you're going to go to Upwork and search for talent and look for top rated freelancers who have earned, again, over $50,000 on Upwork. And you're just going to look and see what skill tags they have. And then after looking at theirs, you'll be able to narrow it down a little bit more. And hopefully you should be able to get to 15 skill tags, right? The other thing that's, it should be obvious, but I'm going to say it anyways, is if you have like 20 skill tags, just choose the most relevant ones, right? If you have some irrelevant skill tags that somehow got in there, just put them out, ignore them, toss them away. They're not going to do you any good. They're actually going to hurt you a lot more than they'll help you. All right. And so that's how you do skill tag research for your main profile. And then for your specialized profiles, like I was already touching on, you're just going to search for jobs on Upwork, and then you're going to look and find ones you want to fulfill, and you'll just put them all into your specialized profile, right? Like all the relevant skill tags that you can find between the jobs and the top rated freelancers, you're going to put all relevant ones into your specialized profile, and then you'll just leave them there, right? Because you have unlimited skill tags. For your main profile, it's the same process, but you just want to narrow it down to 15, all right? So that is a very quick overview of how you do skill tag research. And then for your portfolio section. So one thing that almost nobody does on Upwork that has worked incredibly well for me is including some form of social proof in the first spot of my portfolio. And so the first spot of your portfolio is going to be clicked on by far the most. It's not even going to be close. And so if you have a video testimonial or a client interview, put it in the first spot of your portfolio section. Right? I cannot tell you guys how many times I've gotten in a sales call that came from Upwork and they said, hey, I saw the video testimonial from Jeff in your portfolio section. I feel like I'm very, very similar to him. And, I feel like you can definitely help me. If someone says that to me, like, it's the easiest thing in the world to close them, right? They already admitted they need my help. They already told me they want my help and that they've seen my clients. And so it becomes so much easier to close. So I highly recommend putting in a piece of social proof, ideally, a video testimonial. But if you don't have one, you could film like a Loom video reviewing a case study. Like that would work also very, very well. And then obviously for your portfolio, if you offer a visually stimulating service, such as graphic design, social media management, video editing, something like that, then obviously your portfolio is pretty straightforward, right? You just want to put in your work in here, make sure people can view them really well. And then that's pretty much that, right? Write a short description in here, put some skill tags in there. It's not super complicated. However, if you offer a service such as like SEO or paid advertisements on Google or something that's not super visually stimulating, here's what we tell our clients to do. We tell them to, instead of putting a screenshot of a dashboard into your portfolio section, film a Loom video of that same dashboard and walk people through what it actually means. Because in reality, if you just take a screenshot of like an SEO dashboard and you throw it in your Upwork portfolio, most people are not going to have the context that they need to actually understand what that means, right? But if you compare that to you filming a Loom video of that dashboard, you can give people the context that they actually need in order to interpret that dashboard. So then they can understand how great you are and how amazing the work you do is, right? And so if you do not offer a visually stimulating service, I would just encourage you to film a handful of videos that are like, 30 seconds to 3 minutes long and put them in your portfolio section. You can film videos, again, going over like a dashboard or like a client case study or something like that. And if you don't have case studies or dashboards or anything like that yet, if you're just a beginner on Upwork, you're just starting out, that's totally fine. I would encourage you to film 2 to 3 videos, really probably at least 3 videos talking about the services you offer. And then again, put them in the portfolio section. Because at the very least, that shows that you put in effort and it's going to just build more and more trust with everyone on your profile. Another thing that you can do if you're just starting out on Upwork is going to be to request testimonials from past clients. Now, if you're just starting out on Upwork, you obviously don't have the luxury of having lots of 5-star reviews and thousands of dollars earned on your profile. And so one really easy way to build up trust with people is to request testimonials from your past clients. Right, you'll notice I requested a bunch of testimonials when I was first starting out, and these helped build trust a ton because people need a reason to trust you. They need some sort of social proof. And so just putting your testimonials onto your Upwork profile is going to give them that reason to trust you. Then for the certification section, this is really, really simple. Just upload all the certifications that you have that are related to the services you offer on Upwork. For employment history section, I believe you can import this from LinkedIn. I'm not positive. I know you used to be able to, but either way, I would just encourage you guys to write 1 to 2 paragraphs about each employment history section, right? Because part of building trust with your prospects is providing lots of information and letting them get to know you. And so as much information as we can provide, we want to provide that. Next, for other experiences. And so this, funny enough, is where a lot of people go wrong, in my opinion. A lot of people will put just kind of like a random, unrelated other experiences section in here. And so, for example, if they are a video editor and at one point in time they were a zookeeper, they would write zookeeper and they'd write a paragraph or 2 about their zookeeper experience. Don't do that, guys. That is completely irrelevant. And nobody cares that you were a zookeeper if you're offering video editing services on Upwork, right? Just to be totally honest with you. Because if you think about it, again, from the client's point of view, if I'm a client and I've made it all the way down here to your profile, or excuse me, to your other experience section on your profile, I don't really care that you're a zookeeper. I care about the services you're offering and the quality of them, right? Because that's why people hire people. They don't hire people because they have random, weird other experiences. They hire people because they think they're going to do good jobs with the services they need them to do a good job with. And so I like to take this just as another opportunity to write about the services I offer and brag a little bit, right? You can see here I talk about some statistical improvements we helped one of our clients make. I will say, like, if you do have another experience that you maybe even like if you worked another job that was very related to this service you're offering on Upwork, this would be a great place to put that. Write 2 to 3 paragraphs about how it helped you. If you're a video editor in this example, and you worked at maybe a video editing agency, you can write 2 paragraphs about how your video editing agency job helped you become a better video editor, and now it helps you serve your freelance clients, right? Something like that. And so overall, your other experiences section should be building trust with your prospects. It should not be used to put a completely random and completely irrelevant piece of information in here, because honestly, nobody cares, right? And we want you guys to win jobs on Upwork. And so this is what I would recommend you guys do. All right. So that, in short, is how you're going to optimize your Upwork profile. 1 or 2 last things to mention really quickly. Make sure you fill out all this stuff on the left-hand side, verify yourself, put in your hours, your languages, all these little details, because you're going to see there's a bar at the top of your profile that says, the percentage of completeness, and you want to have a 100% complete profile. That is really, really important. All right. So that's all I've got for this video, guys. Last thing I'll say is if you are interested in having me and my in-house team help you implement these exact strategies, feel free to book a call using the link down below. All right. Take care, guys.